Hey, you. Yeah, you. The college student who literally just glanced at a lock screen notification while you were supposedly studying. Let's talk about that in today's explainer.
Boom! 30 minutes, gone. That is the exact amount of time that just vanished right into the void from that one single, quote-unquote, harmless little glance. Okay, let's dive right into part 1, how social media hijacks your brain.
We've got to expose the hidden mechanics that are absolutely destroying your focus. The main culprit here, desensitization. You see, constant digital stimulation floods your brain with so much dopamine that your body actually has to defend itself by literally shutting down its own receptors. Wild, right?
Dr. K actually uses a perfect analogy for this. He says overstimulation is like turning up the volume on your phone to absolute max when it's plugged into a speaker. And the point is, you have to turn down the input. Don't blow out the speaker. Honestly, regaining your focus to actually study requires a super intentional reset, just to bring those dopamine receptors back to normal.
Which brings us to part 2, the psychology of doom scrolling. So this whole crisis is built on psychological traps engineered right into the apps we use every single day. They rely heavily on variable rewards. That's a tendency where uncertain outcomes actually amplify our craving for a reward. It is exactly why you physically cannot stop swiping or scrolling. It's basically an all-you-can-eat dopamine buffet. That uncertainty turns your phone into a highly addictive little playground. Because you don't know what's coming next, you just keep digging and digging for the next hit.
But seriously, ask yourself, will you throw away an entire semester for a Tinder message? The source actually highlights a college student who literally failed a final exam just to meet a dating app match. Like, that is a terrifying loss of control.
All right, part 3, the 7-day brain reset. Let's fix this.
This process requires a minimum of 7 days for your brain to finally wipe the slate clean. And there are 4 non-negotiables you've got to cut immediately. Binge tech, like social media, unhealthy sex and dating apps, consumables, think drugs, alcohol, junk food, and thrill-seeking behaviors. You must physically block them out.
But here is the ultimate requirement. The one thing you have to do. You must tolerate boredom. Now, your mind is absolutely going to panic, but you have to actively resist that instinct to just grab your phone to escape those uncomfortable silences.
Moving on to part 4, your daily detox routine. Now for the execution phase. Since you're cutting out the quick fixes, you need healthy, steady dopamine alternatives. That means 3 mandatory daily practices: 10 minutes of self-reflection, 30 minutes of exercise, and real, actual human conversation. These naturally release dopamine without frying your receptors.
So what does this actually look like for a busy college student? We'll start your morning with 10 minutes of journaling or gratitude. No phone allowed. Use the afternoon for a deep study block where you practice absolute boredom tolerance. Then in the evening, take a 30-minute walk and maybe make a 5-minute phone call to your family.
And let me be crystal clear about this. No breakfast with your iPad. No bathroom breaks with TikTok. You just cannot fill every waking moment with instant gratification if you actually want the mental clarity to ace your classes.
Finally, part 5, rebuilding discipline and mental clarity.
Because once your week is over, simply surviving without a phone isn't really the goal. We don't just want to be resilient, bouncing right back to our old habits and the same distractions. We want to be anti-fragile. That means becoming much stronger and highly intentional after a disruption.
Otherwise, it's just the Hydra effect. Cut off one head, 3 more grow back. Becoming anti-fragile means you return from this detox with far more power and way more focus than before you even started.
So, before you reintroduce any piece of technology back into your life, you have to ask yourself this one critical question. Does this app actually help me become the person I want to be?
If the answer is yes, follow these rules for intentional reintroduction. Set strict time limits, like maybe 20 minutes a day. Use those apps only for specific networking or creative value. And immediately ditch anything that no longer serves a purpose.
Because remember, adding more doesn't lead to happiness, it literally just leads to distraction. You have the power here to pick the absolute best parts of technology and just leave the toxic rest of it behind. Which leaves us with one final, absolutely essential question to think about. What kind of person do you want to spend your time becoming? The choice is entirely yours, so go take back control of your focus, your semester, and ultimately, your life.